I think I'm at that point where I'm chewing my own hair. Hi, welcome back. I believe everyone has procrastinated at least once in their life. Some are just better at controlling it than others. For me, procrastination is one of my favorite things to do because it's literally the easiest thing to do. There's nothing easier than looking at an objective and thinking about all the hard work and all the requirements that are expected in order to complete the task at hand as perfectly as possible, and then just going, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna spend the rest of my day watching my favorite TV series, or I'm gonna spend the whole day playing my favorite video game. Within that moment, procrastination feels so good because you're doing something so fun in that moment, rather than wasting your time doing something that's boring, annoying, or that stresses you out. But in all seriousness, procrastination is not a good thing. It's fine to do every once in a while, but if you're the type of person who's always procrastinating about everything, then you definitely need to work on getting rid of that bad habit. And the reason is because if you procrastinate over every task that's given to you, it's going to hurt you in the long term. In the past, when I was still in public school, I didn't procrastinate that much. I was the type of person that made sure that I would take care of every assignment ahead of time and ensure that I gave myself enough time to work on any assignment or project that was given to me. So that way I wouldn't wait until the last minute to work on it. It actually wasn't until I attended college that I finally started to procrastinate a little bit more than usual. And the reason for that was because I finally was in control of my own schedule. I was now able to pace the amount of work that I would put into an assignment the way that I wanted to. And it felt so goddamn good. I didn't have to worry about multiple classes giving me so many different assignments and so many different tasks to do that now I just could do whatever I want, whenever I want, as long as I was able to complete it before the deadline. Of course, that kind of mindset would work if you actually were working at an efficient rate, which was not what I was doing at all. Instead of having the same mindset that I had when I was in public school over to college, I went the complete opposite route, and instead I left most of the work that was important till the last couple of days rather than maybe working on it as soon as it was assigned. And that obviously bit me in the ass because now I was left with a fuck ton of work that was not complete, and so now I had to spend the next couple of days figuring out how exactly I was going to finish all of it. Of course, I was able to complete it and I was able to turn it in, but the way I did it was obviously unhealthy. And it didn't just apply to projects or simple assignments given by the professor. This also involved studying for quizzes and tests that the class had. So that was just another thing that needed to be added on to the large amount of work that I had procrastinated over the last couple of weeks. And so of course, the next couple of days were miserable. I was spending non-stop hours just working on assignments, working on projects, and studying for quizzes and tests that I should have been prepared for a long time ago. This would lead me to actually feeling more stressed out and then having to pull all-nighters to then make sure that I had done everything that I possibly could to complete the tasks that were given. So what I've come to realize is that if a person is consistently procrastinating, they will only end up procrastinating even more later on down the line, and they don't even have to procrastinate about things related to work or related to school. Let's say the person was procrastinating over a test or a quiz that they needed to study for, and so they spend so many all-nighters trying to make sure that they retain the information for that test, and now they feel exhausted. It ruined their daily routine, let's say, for going to the gym, waking up early to have breakfast. It's leading them to have that mindset of no longer caring about the everyday things that they would normally do and putting it off because now they lack the ability to do it. And that's why consistently procrastinating is a bad habit. It's a poor mindset to have because it'll affect you in other things outside of the things you hate. You're preventing yourself from having fun later on by leaving the hard work at a moment where you barely have any time to complete it, and so now you're trying way too hard to finish it, leaving you feeling miserable. That daily routine that you were comfortable with is now being sabotaged by your own poor mindset of leaving everything till last minute. It'll then start to merge into the other things that you enjoy doing, whether it be watching the favorite TV show that you adore or playing that favorite video game that you love. What consistent procrastination does is lead you to procrastinate on things that you didn't even think you would procrastinate about. So then why do people have those problems? Why do people procrastinate so much over things that they should be focused on, they should take responsibility for, but they don't? Sometimes when a person is consistently procrastinating over something that is expected for them to complete, it might just be because they really hate that thing. It sounds obvious and it makes sense for why people procrastinate. But what I'm trying to explain is that sometimes people will procrastinate over things that they shouldn't even be doing to begin with. If somebody wants to go into a job or into a university and they want to fulfill the expectations that people have for them, but they're doing something that doesn't meet their interests, of course, they're going to consistently procrastinate over it because they don't want to do it to begin with. If someone was working way too hard in a career that they absolutely despise, why would they want to put any effort into it? What they should focus on is chasing a career where they will always put 100% into it and make sure that they are always focused on learning more about it and not procrastinating over it because it's what they love. Now, obviously, this doesn't always apply with procrastination. It's just something that I've noticed whenever I see people procrastinate about things that they deliberately got themselves into. It doesn't make sense to me that they would choose a career that they are supposedly passionate about, but they're putting off the work that comes with learning this career. Sure, it's fine if they procrastinate over the little things that don't really matter so much, but they still have to take care of it sooner or later. But when they're talking about somebody's job or when they're talking about somebody's passion, seeing someone procrastinate over it just doesn't make any sense. At that point, that procrastination is just a sign that they absolutely hate whatever it is they're doing, and they need to get out of it. The other side of procrastination that's a big problem is the two different types of procrastination. This was actually mentioned in a TED Talk that I watched a long time ago by Tim Urban, who explained the differences between the procrastination with a deadline and the procrastination without a deadline. The procrastination with a deadline is controlled because the person is able to count on a sense of panic whenever they get closer and closer to that deadline, and they know that they have to get that work done as soon as possible so that it doesn't end up biting them in the ass. The procrastination without a deadline is what tends to be the bigger problem, which is what I was mentioning earlier. Consistent procrastination throughout a long period of time. If a person is constantly procrastinating over whatever goals that they set for themselves, then of course they're just not going to be able to complete those goals. And it doesn't even have to be because they're in something that they absolutely hate. If they ended up in a job that they hate, or they ended up learning about something that they hate, the easy way to solve that is to just get out of it. To figure out a way to then find a job that you enjoy, or at least find a career that you're willing to learn about, so that way you're not wasting your time, energy, or money doing the work that is given to you. And just as a reminder, procrastinating every once in a while is not that big of a deal. And if you do the same amount of work every single day that requires you too much energy or requires so much of your focus and attention that you're not even able to spend any time doing whatever you enjoy, then you're just gonna feel exhausted and you're gonna feel miserable. So being able to tell yourself that you're going to take a break from this and you're going to do something that's not related to that work or not related to that passion is also healthy. It's important to figure out why you as an individual are procrastinating about something. You don't want to waste your time on something that you absolutely hate. If you're obviously going to procrastinate over the work that's given from this thing over and over again, then you obviously need to look at yourself and think, do I actually enjoy learning about this? Do I actually enjoy working on this? And if it has nothing to do with that, then you need to change the mindset that you have of always being lazy and not wanting to take a moment and actually work on the assignments that are given to you, because then otherwise you're going to procrastinate about the other things that you enjoy. You're going to leave everything else behind and you're not going to care about it because either you're too exhausted, you're too miserable, or you just no longer have the will to do it. That's really all I wanted to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. Thanks again for watching, and keep being awesome.